Let's look at Sunday in the NBA. Who can we stream in to win our Week 4 matchup? Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and as the great reggae singer Steven Seagal said, when the girl starts to strut, you could look at her butt. You shouldn't do that. Think about just that, because her clothes are just as pretty, and they're not just to cover her kitty. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at LockedOnFantasyBasketball. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Start the season with a big return on FanDuel. Get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. FanDuel.com to check it out. Also, thumb it up, double bang, comment, and go to LockedOnDaily.com for your favorite team's best NBA newsletter, LockedOnDaily.com we're talking about there. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk Sunday. Early starts again. Not a 3 p.m. start, but a 3:30 p.m. start. Tomorrow, earlier finish, and we've got a big day actually. 10 games on the NBA docket. And then I've already done the Week 5 preview show. It was recorded a little bit early. Go check that out. Very light week starting on Monday with Week 5. So light week there. Busy day on Sunday. In fact, this Sunday with 10 games on is the busiest day we have for the next 8 days. There's no day in Week 5 that's as busy as this one. So there you go. I don't know if you care about that much, but that's okay. We're here. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's talk about some of the little bit schedule plays before we get into the individual category or points league streaming options. We'll start off just by looking at the back-to-back Sunday into Monday, because again, when there is a dearth of games in Week 5, if we can take someone on Sunday and back them onto Monday, we get that extra bonus game without using an ad in Week 5. These are all players who are available in over 55% of Yahoo leagues. Some of them shouldn't be available in that many leagues, but they are. Bub Carrington, he needs to be rostered. Yeah, it's frustrating with whatever the hell it is that Kyle Kuzma is doing, and what he is doing is being absolutely... Kyle Kuzma, the way he is playing, and he did this second half of last season, or most of last season as well, he is playing the way that many people ascribe to Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole did not play very well last season, but Kuzma's, I think he's a way worse influence or player or dumb decision maker on the court, and he's been horrendous this season. But anyway, Bob Carrington should be rostered. Patrick Williams, amazingly, now I will move off this one very quickly if he falls back off, but he's playing 30 minutes. He's getting steals. He's shooting well. That'll fall, but he's getting rebounds. Patrick Williams should be rostered. And you get the Sunday, Monday back-to-back out of this. Ayo Dosunmu, he actually closed the game last game over Josh Giddey. Giddey did have some foul troubles, but Giddey has not been closing games. Dosunmu has. He's actually put up decent numbers in only 25, 26 minutes the last 2 games. I ideally would like him playing 31 or 32, but he's worth a look with the back-to-back. And Chris Dunn, last game, yeah, bad. Like only 19 minutes or so, but it was a weird game. They were getting killed early on as well. And Dunn, they just didn't go with him. They went more to Kevin Porter, but again, we look at the back-to-back. I think Dunn will keep starting, and I would keep rolling unless he goes back and plays 20 minutes a night. But a nice little back-to-back ad there. Jaime Jaquez, don't love the long-term value, but we're all about getting a back-to-back in there. And the same goes with Isaiah Stewart, who split the minutes last game with Jalen Duren. Even though it was a foul trouble issue, we have seen many foul trouble games from Jalen Duren. I've also seen many games where Isaiah Stewart's played better than him. So, look, again, you're just getting one ad. You're getting 2 games. You might get 40 minutes out of Isaiah Stewart. You can't get 40 minutes out of one player usually unless they play for Tom Thibodeau or self-branded hat legend Nick Nurse. What about chunks? Let's look at Sunday through to Thursday. Remembering that Sunday's got 10 games, obviously, but then the other days are all easy stream days, and Sunday's a borderline one. All of these players have 3 games in those next 5 days. Goga Badadze, Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, obviously the Thunder, Karis LeVert, and Patrick Williams. All guys are available in a lot of different spots that you should be rostering. Now, Goga, you should just be rostering until Wendell returns. Lou, Dort, and Karis LeVert, I think, are just rosterable guys. Same with Patrick Williams. And then Joe and Wiggins, it's more schedule stuff because we know the unpredictability with the way that the Thunder like to roll and chuck their lineups out there makes it a little bit tough to have any level of reliability. But when you're getting 3 and 5, hopefully you get 1.5 really good games. out of those players, and maybe that's enough to justify that part of it. Let's now move into the Sunday streaming stuff. Let's talk about Yahoo and points leagues and who we're going to stream in there. I've given 6 names, as I always do, but I did split it a little bit here. The top 4 names are all guys who are at least 45 or lower percent rostered on Yahoo. And then I thought I'd provide it, because there'll be someone who jumps on here and go, yeah, man, Josh, come on, man. You're talking to scrubs here, mate. Like, in every competitive, I'm in the most competitive, the most competitive league in the world. And every player that you mentioned, every one of them has been taken at all points. I've never heard you actually mention a name of someone who's never been taken in my league. So, yeah, can we do something a bit different? Sure, no worries. So what I've done there, the first 4 names are 45% rostered or below. The last 2 names are below 20%. And if your league is so super competitive that you're not, that 20% rostered is too high of a number for you, I'm not really sure what to tell you anymore. Like, 2% rostered. Do you want me to go to, maybe you should be looking at a Nikola Topic just in case there's a miraculous ACL return? Should you be looking at Nikola Milutinov, who's I think he's in the Knicks now, but like he's draft rights held. Maybe he comes over just in time for Sunday and they sign him and he plays. I don't know. Is that how deep we want to go for the competitive leagues? Yahoo points. Who are we streaming in? I was trying to think of what the funniest, like, deep cut name would be. Someone who just plays no minutes. Last season, my go-to was Honoralp Batim or Henri Dral, but they don't play in the NBA anymore. There's got to be Taze Moore. Is it? Yeah, Taze Moore for the Blazers. That's a good one. He's a great one there. Or actually, I don't even know if he's still on the roster. Let's go Kashad Johnson in Miami. Irrespective of this, Donovan Klinger. Now, DeAndre Ayton's doubtful, so he's not going to play on Sunday, and Rob Williams will be back. Klinger is still available. It is tough, right? It is tough to figure out a 3-center rotation. So, Klinger, yeah, let's go for it. Peyton Watson's available everywhere as well, and I know people were a little bit hesitant with Watson, given the schedule, but that part of the schedule's over. And with Aaron Gordon out, yeah, he's a better category than points league guy, but I still think he's worth a look. Shaden Sharp's still available somehow in like 60% of leagues, and with Simons doubtful and Ayton doubtful, this is the time for Sharp. This is what he needs, the ball. Give him the ball. Get the usage up. Harder for him to be useful when he doesn't have the usage, but that doesn't matter because he's got it here. So yeah, you roster him. The other one's Bub Carrington, who is still available in a lot of spots as well. People just maybe not buying the Bub breakout. I don't know, maybe not, but he should be rostered. My last 2 guys on that list are the less than 20% guys, and that is Aaron Wiggins, and it is Patrick Williams is like sitting at right on 20, and so is Ayo Dosunmu. So, I know your league is the most competitive league in the world, and those guys are rostered, but they're literally 20% rostered, and I failed to believe that there are like 70% dead leagues. It's not ESPN, sure. Peyton Watson, by the way, 6% rostered on ESPN. 6. Failed to believe there are 70% dead leagues. You want to say there's 45? Yep. If I say there's 40, 50, probably not 50, 40, I get it. 70, no way. There's your Yahoo points streaming guys. For the ESPN point streams, it's a relatively similar list. It's not that dissimilar, but the order of them changes marginally. Peyton Watson's slightly ahead of Klinger, but whatever. Go either way. There's more long-term potential in Klinger than there is in Watson. Watson's going to have it while Gordon's out and then go away. While Klinger he might go back to 12 minutes, but he might play 27 in March. It was great to see him play 31 minutes last game as well. I wasn't sure he was able to be able to do the stamina thing on that, as when I talked to multiple scouts about this and about his issue, and people watching the Blazers early in the season and all through something, they go, man, he can't actually do it. Well, he did. So there you go. That's what happens. We get new information, we see it, we change our minds. Or we know that, hey, there was a data point of this actually happening, and that's what happened with Klinger. Bub Carrington and Karis LeVert, my other 2 ESPN point streamers who are, again, widely available. LeVert, though, is a weird one because I think his ESPN roster percentage is way higher than Yahoo, and largely because when people draft on ESPN and the numbers that they use, it's draft on their weird and wacky pre-ranks. And LeVert was ranked high there, so he was like auto-drafted into every draft, basically, and then those dead leagues, he just sits on their roster. Whereas on Yahoo, I believe LeVert was like 150th or something, so he wasn't drafted in a bunch of leagues, so it's harder to be actively added. Still haven't figured out a really good way to be able to determine activity, inactivity, how we judge guys who were auto-drafted early in the season and then don't get dropped, and that keeps their numbers higher than you. I don't know. I don't know how to fully judge that at this stage. But they're our ESPN guys. And the lower rostered guys for ESPN point scoring, we are looking at Aaron Wiggins and Ayo Dosunmu. Pat Williams still falls in there. But Dosumu's game probably suits ESPN point scoring just that little bit more. And yeah, sometimes the little bits are what we get. Today's episode is brought to you by Betterhelp. This is November. This is the month of gratitude. It's the month of thanks. And we don't always show that gratitude to the best of our abilities, do we? Because, yes, we got a lot of stuff going on. Everyone's got a lot of things that they're thinking about. And, yes, it is a good time to reflect and sit back and go, who should I be thanking? My parents, siblings, friends, colleagues, mentors, partners, children. Yes, show that gratitude. You might get it shown to you in return as well. This month is all about that gratitude. And, you can also shout out someone else that doesn't get thanked enough. And that's yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. You've done something good. I'm sure you've done something good today. Therapy can be a way that you can help to change your mindset on stuff. So if you've been thinking of starting therapy, you can give BetterHelp a try. You go online. It's easy. You suit it to your schedule. You fill out a questionnaire. They match you with a therapist. And if that therapist is not what you're looking for, if it's not the right fit, well, you can change that therapist at any time for no additional charge. So let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Go to betterhelp.com/lockedonnba today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedonnba. Okay. Now, we've looked at the points league streaming. How about we get in here and have a look at some category league, individual category streams to try and win those specific categories on Sunday here with the 10 games. And if we're looking for the points category, points. Again, I'm going to use the same cutoffs, but I'm going to use not Yahoo roster percentage. I'm going to use Basketball Monsters advanced roster percentage to give you names that will hopefully be a little bit more available for you. The points guys, Corey Kispert, Aaron Wiggins. They're giving Kispert a lot of minutes. I don't understand why. I don't know why you would ever prioritize Corey Kispert over Keyshawn George, but whatever. Kispert's getting minutes, so there's 17, 16 points, 14 points possible there. Aaron Wiggins, Jaden McDaniels, old Dawson, and Isaiah Joe. Who wants a sidebar? I know I'm not going to say this in real time. I'm going to give you one anyway. Isaiah Joe. And then my less than 20% guys, Zaire Williams, although Zaire did just pop on the injury report as questionable. And interestingly, in Brooklyn, Trendon Watford is off the injury report. They said he had a setback and he was going to be out weeks. Well, apparently not. And with Nick Claxton out and Day'Ron Sharpe out, I don't know how much they'll give Watford straight up, but just remember the name Trendon Watford. He might be streamable. At least for rebounds. Just keep an eye on how much they play him. Anyway, Zaire Williams is questionable, but I don't mind his scoring ability. And then Dylan Brooksy Brooks. He's available in a lot of spots, and he's playing really well at the moment. I don't mind him as a 12-team stream or even something deeper. What I was going to say is about me calling Jaden McDaniels Dawson, right? I see a lot of stuff, and it goes around all the time. And I do enjoy the fine art of nicknaming, right? Number one, can't nickname yourself. That's a clear rule. Can't do that. You can't give yourself a nickname. Easy. Like I can't sit here and call myself the Golden Tonsils. That's not going to stick, right? Because I don't. I've got a bad voice. I can't sit and do that. Someone has to give you the nickname. And ideally, the nickname usually has to be something that you hate. That's how nicknames usually work. Usually something that you hate. It's something ironic. It's something the opposite of what it actually means. That's usually how a nickname works. The other part of nicknames, a lot of the time, is there can be two different ways. There can be a way that you can be discussed through media, but other times, nicknames, especially over here in Australia, it needs to be something that can be short and sharp that when you're in the middle of playing a game, you can call. You can call the person. You can be like, hey, JB, over here. Yep, on your left, JB. Versus like, Jaylen Brown, please pass it to me. You got to have like a nickname to be able to Carlton Carrington. Yeah, bub, upset the screen, bub, watch the screen. Right, you say that. So, this is on the Dyson Daniels discussion. I see a lot of people, Dyson needs a nickname. Bro, that's sorted ages ago. Immediately came into the draft. As he was drafted, this guy, the Dustbuster. Now, I understand that probably doesn't fit the old, if you're in the middle of a game, fast action, you can't go, hey, Dustbuster doesn't fly off the tongue that well. So while they're trying to go, Larry Nance called him the Great Barrier Thief. What are we doing? Terrible nickname. Stop it. Dreadful nickname. I saw someone say, let's call him Dyson steals. Like, come on. No. So Dyson Daniels, Dyson vacuum brand. You can call him the vacuum. Not bad. That's why I took it a step to Dustbuster. But now that I'm thinking about it, if we're talking about in-game, Dusty. Dyson Dusty Daniels. You just because Dusty now? Dusty. Yeah, dust. Dusty. Up Dusty. Lob. I'll go with Dust. Dusty. Nicknames. Sorted. There's your thought process. Dusty Daniels. So anyway, Jaden McDaniels, I called him Dawson, so just Dorse. Dorse? Yeah, Dorse. I hope that was enlightening, and also I know it probably wasn't. Let's talk about three-pointers. Who can we stream in for that? Isaiah Joe is always going to be there. He might hit 0 of them. Very obviously, he might hit 7. 21 points, 7 of 7 from 3. Bang. He's done it before. I think. Fact check me on that. He's definitely had I won't say definitely. I think he's had at least a 6 of 6 game from 3, maybe a 7 of 7. Anyway, he's a really good 3-point streamer. So is Corey Kispert. And it's probably where my love of Corey Kispert ends, because after these first 2 categories, he doesn't do anything else. Ryan Dunn, somehow, he's just taking a million threes. And he's going to have a large enough role on the Suns that you can consider him. And then Dylan Brooks also. Would he hit 5 threes last game? He's going to get shots up. He's got to play minutes. And that's really a lot of this calculation. That's what it's about. For the deeper ones, Benny Shepherd. He's starting. He's been pretty bad, honestly, in most games. But opportunities there. No one is super interested in Dorian Finney-Smith, and I get why. But that doesn't mean that he's not a streamable guy for threes, especially with Claxton out and maybe even Zaire Williams out. If we look at rebounds, so we're straddling ourselves. We're not doing that. We're actually sort of moving ourselves into the big man category. We're sidling, that's a better word, across to the big men. Jalen Smith. Yeah, I know he's Vooch's backup, and Vooch is the NBA's best. You know what? I actually heard this on the grapevine, that the NBA is considering changing some rules, the Hall of Fame eligibility rule, to induct Vooch this season. You have to wait till he retires or the 5 years. I heard, whisper, one of the changes to All-Star Game will be a Nikola Vucevic Hall of Fame enshrinement after they change the rules. Keep it to yourself, though. But Jalen Smith can come in and get 7 or 8 rebounds in a backup role there, so he's there. Dorian Finney-Smith and Haywood Highsmith, they are not centers, but they're going to probably start and probably play 30 minutes and 8, 9, probably not 10, but like 9 rebound upside. You don't mind that. And then Jaime Jaquez as well is not a bad rebounder. The minutes should be okay. 7 rebounds or so. Not bad. For deeper leagues, Josh Okogie somehow is playing a lot of minutes. He's also scoring really well. I don't think I'd want to trust that from Okogie there, but for rebounds, I don't mind it. He's available like everywhere. And the other one is Noah Clowney, actually / Trendon Watford. Because no Nick Claxton, I don't know why they just won't put Clowney out there and play him 27 and see what happens. He will at some point. This season, he will play better minutes, I'm certain. But Watford could be the other guy that we could just squiz at there. Assists. We're always going to be looking at Timothy John McConnell as an assists streamer. That's what he does. He gets assists. He hasn't been dominating this season at all, but 6 assists is a possibility there. Delano Banton is getting a ton of minutes, and Anthony Simons is doubtful with an illness. Not a chest injury, an illness. So, don't know what this illness is, COVID. But he's not playing, so Banton gets minutes over Scoot at times. And Banton is one of the best stat rackers upper ever. He's almost Tony Roten-esque. But he gets assists. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He gets 3 or 4. He's not a higher assist upside guy. And with them playing Mike Conley more, which is an interesting development, Alexander-Walker won't run point as much, but he's still there. And then Milk. Ty Jerome. This man does get assists. He plays backup point guard. There will be some iffy nights for sure, but like we say in the draft all the time, get assists off the wide? No, not really. They're not really easy to do. Not easy to do at all. If you're going deeper, campaign, and I'm glad this one came up because Vince Williams is rostered in 8% of leagues. Vince Williams returned to the Grizzlies yesterday. Thought he looked pretty good. Marcus Smart has been their starting small forward. I think Vince will become the starting. I didn't think that early on. I thought they'd lean into Smart, but they just haven't been trusting him at all. I think that Vince is an ad. You got to watch schedule-wise and how it makes sense. But if he plays 31 minutes a night, Vince Williams, clear ad. And at first I thought he's going to be a 27-minute a night, 26-minute a night backup. We'll see. I'm actually sort of moving off that. I think he's really good. I would add Vince Williams. He's available everywhere. Competitive league people, he's available in a lot of spots. I know you're in the top 8% of all players of all time. He's available everywhere, Vince Williams. 92% available at the moment. Go check him out. We'll come back. We'll talk steals. We'll talk blocks. We'll talk field goals. We'll talk free throw percentage. Today's episode, though, is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can kick off their account with $5, or betting $5, to get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to get touchdowns on the live betting across the NFL all in one place. In the middle of the game, you might get a hunch. You might consult with your coordinators and go, hey, something's going on here. And then they say, open the app up. Let's check the odds. And you go, I do it. And they go, do I need me to open my phone to look at the stats? You go, no, you're an assistant. Shut up. I've got it all on one screen. I'm in charge here. So let me look at the live stats. Let me look at the live game-by-game stuff. Let me look at the bets. They're all in the one place on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And you would know that if you were a really good assistant. I wouldn't need to tell you that. What are you doing here? Get out. Go to FanDuel.com today and get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That is FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And don't forget to gamble responsibly. Okay, let's go through the rest of the streaming categories for Sunday's action. Steals, a highly, highly volatile and variable category. I'm always going to put someone like a Cason Wallace up there. He's got 28-minute upside. He's got 6 steal upside. He's available. The Thunder need him. He will be bad and he will be good, and we don't know when it happens. They've also got a nice little chunk of schedule coming up here as well. So Wallace is available. So do it. Tamani Kamara just sneaks under the cutoff 45% he's at on our Basketball Monster metric. Without Ayton, without Simons, it's way more for Kamara to do, which we love. Roster him until you don't. Josh Okogie and Haywood Highsmith. Haywood Highsmith is a 5 steal upside guy. Okogie's probably more of a 3 to 4. And I don't know how I'm working that out. I'm actually just pulling it straight from behind. But it's based on, beautiful mind numbers all flying down. I'm seeing them all. And again, they're probably wrong. But I know Highsmith had a 5 steal game this season. Okogie probably has in the past, but he's been a little bit down. But they are decent enough options, especially with the minutes that both Highsmith and Okogie seem to be getting at the moment. For deeper formats, Jarris Walker. He might score 5 points. He might have 5 steals. He might have not a 5x5, he might have a 3x5, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, possible 2 blocks, 2 threes. We can't have 2 threes at 5 points, can you? But he is getting some more minutes. He's getting a solid enough role. It's pushing up a little bit for Jarris. And then Aaron Wiggins, another available player who's a pretty good steals guy. He's not quite as good as Cason Wallace, but he is there and he is good and he is available. If we look at block numbers, there's no real massive standout weird big man who can come in for 4 to 5 blocks that I can see at the moment. But Ryan Dunn is there, and he hits some other categories too. And as a small forward eligible player, getting a block or 2 is useful. Old Dorse, Jaden McDaniels, he is there. He's been actually putting up some better games of late. I still don't buy it as a long-term 12-team guy, but yeah, that's why we call him Dawson. Noah Clowney, I hope that they play him 22 minutes. He can have 4 or 5 blocks. And then Derek Jones Jr. is probably a 2-block guy, but more security in his starting role. Minutes not as always secure for Derek, but he is a solid shot blocker. And then for the less rostered players, Brandon Clark, who is currently the Grizzlies starting center, and Dorian Finney-Smith. And yes, you can put J Huff in there, but also remember J Huff had 2 big block games and then like 1 every other game. And he plays like 13 minutes, and they're running a 12-man rotation, and he might not play. That's why he's not there, because I don't have that level of trust or faith in it. If you're looking to influence the field goal percentage category, it might not be easy to do. And usually, if you're going to win a field goal percentage on the final day, it's through small changes from you, but also more likely your opponent just cops they just get like Taylor Horton-Tucker and get like 1 of 10 shooting. That's usually how you're able to sneak up there. But Brandon Clark, Oso Iguodaro, who's been playing pretty well, and he's a very high percentage player. Obert Toppin doesn't do anything else. And Aaron Wiggins, also an unbelievably high field goal percentage player for the position that he plays. For deeper leagues, Jock Landale. My voice can't. Last night, Pearl Jam concert in Melbourne, huge crowd, like 57,000 people there. And singing relatively loud, and my voice is a little husky today. So I can't really do the Jock Landale as well. It hurts. But anyway, Jock Landale. If Steven Adams is out, and I believe he is, Landale will be the player to use Landale. TJ McConnell also, much like with Aaron Wiggins, McConnell's a very good field goal percentage player at a position you don't get high field goal percentage from. But that is what TJ does. In free throw percentage, I'm looking at Jalen Wilson in Brooklyn, who he's available everywhere. Will he take many shots? I don't know. But he's always that weird player that at times can play 26 minutes, go 6 of 6 from the line. You go, oh, that came out of nowhere. I think he had an 8 of 8 earlier in the year. Dylan Brooksy Brooks, pretty good free throw shooter. Amir Coffey, who is, I believe, 0% rostered. That might be... Actually, you know what? Let's double check that. What is the actual roster percentage of the Farmers Union himself, Fuick? Fuick, that would be his nickname. I know I call him Farmers Union, but we'll go with Fuick. Amir Coffey. I'm going to go and have a look. Where is Amir on this Yahoo app? No, that's not the thing I'm looking for. What am I doing? Yahoo is such an annoying... I hate using Yahoo. Why is it so annoying? Let's go in and have a look. You know what? I'm going to pause this because I don't know what I'm doing. My bad. Old Fuick is 1% rostered Amir Coffey. So there you go. He's a good free throw guy. Isaiah Joe, also a pretty good free throw guy. And if you go for some more... Now, some of these guys obviously above, like Amir Coffey, is less than 20%, but he's also less than 45% too. But the less than 20% means if you're over 20%, I'm not counting you in that section. And then we go to Duncan Robinson there and Milk Ty Jerome. Well, you don't have to milk Ty Jerome. That's just a nickname. We are at the end of the show. That is streaming options for Sunday across the NBA. I think you know what to do with your thumbs. That is, give me one of them, put it on the video, leave your comments, double bang, listen to the audio, watch the video, and guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.